I'm so excited. We will be reunited in person this weekend.
I know. I feel like it's been forever, but it's only been what, like a month and a half?
Is that crazy? It feels like it's been lifetimes, though. It really does.
Kindred spirit. No, it really does. It feels like it's been 6 months, but you were here really recently. And I mean, we're having a rager. So apparently it was supposed to just be another like Saturday. And then I don't know, it's inquiring about a taco truck.
Wait, seriously?
20 people. Yeah, there's a lot going on. But I'm very excited. And we're going to record in person. And we're going to have a
special
guest host. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Really funny.
Yeah. Shout out to Josh. We'll get to meet him next week. It'll be awesome.
Yes. Great.
So other than Rager insanity, shall we get into our basic bitch quickies for the week?
Yes, ma'am.
Boop, boop, boop. And for our viewers, listeners who are joining us for the first time, old and or new, our BBQs, essentially our basic bitch quickies, is a segment where we do lightning round of top headlines. Usually, it'll include like show reviews or, just top headlines from the week. And we essentially give our quick top of mind thoughts. So whenever you're ready, Alina, shall we do this?
Girl, I'm always ready. Let's fucking do it.
Do we want to time ourselves or are we good with just...
No.
Okay. Especially I feel like for this first segment,
we need more than the allotted 3 minutes per story. So
I think we've learned our lesson that the timer doesn't really work for us. It's really honestly just for show at this point where it's like, we just love having the background noise. So we are going to do our usual weekly sub segment. If you have BBQs, our favorite is the Kardashian family update. I honestly also feel like I'm getting kind of sick of them. Not going to lie, especially after this week's episode.
Wait,
Kardashians.
I was just about to say, like, what the fuck does that say about them and us, but them? That like we have literally started an entire segment about just like what they're doing with their lives. Like, I mean, there's so many problems with that, or there's so many issues that I have with all of that. But and I am like so sick of them. Mark literally went to put the Kardashians on Hulu the other night because there was nothing else to watch, and I made him turn it off. And I was like, we are not supporting them anymore.
It's kind of weird. And I have a feeling it has something to do with potentially what I witnessed on the show this week. So there's been a shit ton of backlash. So I think it's appropriate for us to do a review of the episode this week. Okay. There was a shit ton of backlash that Kris and Kylie got after their little adventure, like normal everyday people adventure, where they went into a grocery store to do some grocery shopping and then also went to a car wash.
Yep.
My 2 cents on this, I cannot stand the level of deafness that I'm experiencing on this show, like tone deafness. Like, I'm over it.
So like that isn't the thing that set me off this week. I think we're going to talk about one of the things that set me off this week. And I know we're going to talk about the thing that really set me off later for, on Wednesday of this week. But no, I totally agree with you. I just think like the shit that they do for the sake of viewership, and look, don't get me wrong, it signs their paychecks, right? We talk about it. We write about it.
We do.
I click on every fucking app, on every single article that I see on Instagram about it because I've got to know what TMZ has to say, and Us Weekly, and People, and E! News, and Bravo. I got to know what everyone has to say about it. But like at the end of the day, they are so fucking obnoxious, and I think it's like they like. I part of me is like, actually, I spoke to one of our friends who works in the industry. We will not, we're not going to name names or anything, but she was, last night we had this conversation. We actually got into a little bit of a little tip, if you will, because she was like, no, they're great people. They're actually very philanthropic. And I was just like, no, they fucking suck. Like, they suck. They're not good people. Like,
so
I'm so tired of them.
I have this feeling. I actually am really proud, I think, of Kim for doing whatever she's doing from a legal standpoint. And I think she is trying to do her best. And I think it's kind of a 180 from what she used to be about, which, you know, to a degree in the entertainment world was, you know, very shallow, right? Of needing to look a certain way, having to make appearances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now she's like, okay, I'm actually going to become a lawyer and I'm going to work on like our justice system and the inequities within our justice system. Awesome. But I think what's turned me off, considering the current economic situation, to see them be like, oh, this will be fun. Let us like dip our toes into like the poor normie people, like day-to-day activities of like grocery shopping and then going into a car wash. I think at some point she's like, oh, it's like going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I just like, it's almost like you are making fun, like visiting people's like actual lived experiences and kind of making fun of it to a degree. And I'm sure they didn't mean it, but how come your producers allowed y'all to like leave that segment within the show?
Well, I mean, the producers, I think, probably came up with the idea because at the end of the day, look at how many people are talking about it. Like
I mean, that's fair.
All publicity is good publicity, right? And at the end of the day, I think that part of the reason why people are so fascinated with them is just they live a life that none of us, like, we don't even waste our time dreaming about, right? Because it's like,
I agree with you, but I will say I actually enjoyed watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians in the earlier seasons, watching them when they were like still somewhat normal and like grappling with like getting into the industry and working their way up versus now I feel like there's such a level of tone deafness and such a massive dissociation from like actual lived reality of most people that I can't. I'm at a point, and I think after this episode, where I don't think I can continue watching this show.
No, I'm not kidding. I refused to watch it because I was just like, okay, so let's maybe talk about some of the things, right? So there was the whole Kris and Kylie doing quote unquote normal things, and like Kris apparently didn't know how to use a credit card machine because it's been that long since she's been to a grocery store. And don't get me wrong, I understand like the level of celebrity that they have. They cannot walk into a grocery store willy nilly. And
but quick question for you though, like I always positive like manifestation putting out there in the world that like when we get to that certain level of wealth, right? I don't think I would ever be that useless. Like, do you think you would get to that point?
But but I understand what you're saying, but I also, Maddie, I don't necessarily, listen, this is me defending them for a second, right? And I just said that I'm like done with them and I wouldn't even let Mark put it on television because it's like, I will not give them my viewership. I will not give them the one view from Sherman Oaks, California. No, I think that like I understood that point. Do I think that they needed to like document it and like make a joke out of it and like put it on television? Maybe not. However, I understand like that maybe you haven't been to a store. Like sometimes I can't figure out the tap reader thingy or like, the credit card machine, like you put your card in and then like it tells you don't take it out, and then it tells you take it out. And if you miss it by a second, it suddenly like causes an alarm and the fires, everyone's going crazy. So I get that part, but like, I think it's more just like, again, like you're documenting this, like it's supposed to be cutesy and funny and whatever, but it's like, you're actually so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I think like Kendall being useless and not knowing how to cut a cucumber, that's also like another just like facet of it. Like
I will say though, to your point, in defense of them, since I'm just thinking of this now, the cucumber thing, like I can't defend that. Potentially this, going to the grocery store thing, I could defend because there is also a level of privacy that they are trying to instill. And like, they can't go to a grocery store normally as like, as normal folk. So, okay, I'll give them benefit of the doubt there, but I will not give Kendall Jenner the benefit of the doubt. Like, how could you not know how to cut a cucumber?
No, I agree. But I also, as you know, I think that like Kris is the problem. Like Kris didn't ever teach her child how to cut a cucumber because she just had a chef. And her response wasn't, let me show you. Her response wasn't, let's get the chef here to show you. It was just have the chef do it for you. So therein lies the problem, if you ask me. Okay. But then,
oh God, please. Are you going where I think you're going?
No, I'm not going there yet. Then there was the other thing that I saw was how like Kylie and Kim have both recently like people check their jets or whatever. I don't know. Apparently this is the thing now. And they both took like 19-minute flights from one side of LA to the other on their private jets. And so I'm just like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you don't even have to drive yourself. Like, How, like, I just, you know me, I'm like a tree hugger, and that really pisses me off. Like, how dare you? They weren't going from San Diego to LA or LA to Palm Springs or LA to San Francisco. Like, you were literally going from like Calabasas to the east side or something.
You know, this is what is so fascinating to me, especially around celebrity, what is it? Pandering almost when it comes to global warming concerns and wanting to be better about climate change. Like, you fuckers are on private jets that waste how much from a CO2 emissions perspective? Like, it won't matter. I mean, I hate to be this kind of a person. I hate to be pessimist, but no matter how much us quote unquote normies put into making changes in our daily lives, it will never make up for the amount of waste that these people with money have.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just going to be honest.
So I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, and I know that there's a very important part of the episode this week that we need to discuss in quite a bit of detail. But another thing that people are saying is, like, Kim Kardashian, she came out with the Beyond Meat ad.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What is it? Yep. Chief taste consultant or something like that. And it's like, Kim, if you gave a fuck about the environment, you would not own a private jet. On the flip side, again, I do understand, like, she probably can't go to LAX. Like, she will literally be mobbed. So I get that. But, like, it's just like, stop trying to, like,
it's
monetize.
So weird.
I don't know. It just pisses me off.
It's interesting because I feel like we've kind of created this monster with, like, our
100%.
fascination of celebrity culture and celebrities in general, that, like, we've made it impossible for them to navigate the world. And in turn, we're also kind of hating them for being unable to navigate the world too, normally like us. So they have to go to extremes to navigate. Right. To move, to be able to, get from place to place. So like, as much as I hate it, there's also a part of me too that, like, kind of sympathizes to a degree, because I understand, not that I understand, because I haven't walked a mile in their fucking shoes, as we all know. But yeah, I mean, I would fucking hate it if every time I went someplace I was, like, surrounded by people and my safety was kind of, threatened to a degree.
Yeah. So I understand. 100%. I totally agree with you. Like, yes, like, we've kind of created the monster and now we hate them for being the monster. But okay, going back to the whole, like, LA thing, you could have driven.
Oh, 100%.
Right. Like, that was literally just like a disgusting display of, I don't give a fuck about the earth.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, you're going to sit here and you're going to, like, collect on, and I know some people eat Beyond Meat, not necessarily because it's good for the environment and because they just don't like meat or whatever it is. Like, a lot of people, or, like, I feel like the idea behind Beyond Meat is we're going to try to, like, cut emissions and blah, blah, blah. So I just don't like when people talk out of two sides of their mouth. It pisses me off. You know me, I hate hypocrisy. Yeah. And I'm done. I'm really just kind of fucking over it. What are your thoughts on the Kim Kardashian Beyond Meat chief taste consultant thing? Although, by the way, she did not eat a single fucking piece of food. I was about to
say, yeah.
For the record.
I guess I just, like, don't give a shit, just to be quite frank. I think there's a part of me that was laughing when I saw the commercial, because clearly she wasn't eating and you could tell she was, like, fake eating. Yeah. Also, knowing that the first episode of the Kardashian show, she was actually eating, I can't remember if it was, like, chicken strips or something like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm, like, vegan 90% of the time. But, like, the other time, I can't remember exactly what the quote was. And that's the thing. It's like, no shade to you being a vegan, you not being a vegan, you being a flexitarian. I don't give a fuck. I just think it's going back to the hypocrisy aspect of, if the goal and the messaging is around, being environmentally friendly and climate change, and yet your actions don't fully embody that. And don't get me wrong, a lot of us, are all for climate change, but, like, we can't 100% like, align all of our actions towards that. It just isn't sustainable individually, or honestly, like sustainable even financially, for a lot of folks. And I think that, it doesn't have to be aligned 100%, but at least, like, 50-50. And right now I'm not really seeing that. So
yeah, but don't get me wrong. I know it's horrible.
Yeah.
Because the amount of water that is used to make one fucking, like, liter of almond milk. But you know what? I just can't do oat milk. I just don't like, and I don't drink, dairy milk because I'm Asian and that doesn't sit well with my belly. But the fact of the matter is again, I'm not sitting here cashing in on probably, tens of millions of dollars to sit here and preach whatever. But at the same time, again, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. It does, like, part of me was like, oh, you know what? People literally like live and die by what this bitch says. So they are like, I really hope that like maybe more and more and more people will get on the like plant-based bandwagon.
I also think what's funny too is, kind of similarly to how we are with these updates, if you will. Some people love to hate them. Some people love to love them. Some people love to hate them. And I think every one of their actions, I mean, we all know we love the conspiracy theory that Kris Jenner is the one who's puppeteering all of the fucking things. I think part of the picture is really that they're orchestrating a lot of this for that very thing, right? So I don't know if she expected all of this backlash, but I think they probably know by now that any little thing they do is going to receive lots of love, but also a lot of shit talking too. So
yeah, no, for sure. And look, all I'm going to say is that I am kind of tired of them, but I really hope that the influence that she has encourages people to go plant-based. And I hope that like somebody who's producing the Kardashians will maybe think twice about like just what the fuck they're portraying and putting, like, how do you think that that's going to make us feel? And also, how do you think it makes them look? Like, I think if anything, it's making them look really stupid.
It's making them
like,
terrible.
If they are one thing, they're not stupid, right? Like, they're brilliant, brilliant women.
I think that's why it's so frustrating for me, like seeing these things, because it's been one thing after another, like, and I think for me, it started with the whole Disneyland shit that they did, where they cut in front of people. They took over these rides. They had a whole bunch of the, peasants, AKA us, like looking at them from the sideways when clearly there were like all of these little teacups that they could have filled with normal people. When literally a couple of weeks previous to that, Cardi B was there and she didn't do that. So it started there for me, and it's just been like a slow burn of watching the show and seeing how out of touch they are. And I'm just like, whoa, I feel like they're flying too close to the sun. Let's just say that.
Yeah. They're just like at another level of obnoxious now. And I think it's like, you're not like, there's nothing redeeming, about them. So, okay. With that, because I know that we've gone well over our 3 or 7 minute allocation, but there's one more thing that like we just must touch on. And I don't even know where to begin with this. So, Maddie, do you maybe want to walk our listeners through it?
Yeah. So
you're just like disgusted and horrified, and we're just like, we don't know what to do.
I'm going to preface this with, we all know I'm like very new agey and very spiritual in a lot of ways. And I'm all about like alternative medicine and naturopathic medicine and all of that shit.
Yeah. But Maddie's like, have this fucking piece of fungus that I just picked off your tree and it'll make your migraine go away. And I'm like, literally just give me the fucking drugs. Like, I'm like, just give me the naproxen. I'm like, no, I want every single thing that I can buy from CVS in my body right now. I don't care what it's going to do. We're all dying anyway. Kim Kardashian's not a real vegan. No,
fair. But with that, I feel like there's also a limit to what I may or may not be okay with. And I think on this episode this week is where I reached my fucking limit. So for our listeners who do not watch this show, apparently Kourtney needs now to drink Travis Barker's cum 4 times a week, according to a fertility doctor that she is seeing. And I have never in my fucking life ever heard of this. And I'm not well versed in Ayurvedic medicine, but like I do know my way around it. And I do have some practices of Ayurveda in my day-to-day life. But this was really fucking out there. Really fucking out there.
So apparently this doctor told her that it would help with her thyroid levels or something like that. And so, that she should drink his semen 4 times a week. This to me just screams we are looking for attention and like shock value. And to me, it almost just like completely dilutes anything that ever comes out of her fucking mouth from here on out, because I believe that it is just for like the viewership numbers at this point. Like, that is not science. That makes no sense. You're a fucking idiot if you think that that's true. Like, literally, sex education. I know that this country maybe doesn't do the best job at providing this for students ever anymore, whatever. I don't know. I don't have any kids. I don't know anything about school, but apparently it's not good. But the idea, right? Like, no, like how many times do they fucking tell you when you're like 12 years old in sex ed, you can't get pregnant giving a blowjob? So, and I know that she's not saying she's getting pregnant, but like, just, it's so stupid. I'm just like, what? And disgusting. And ew, he's so gross. And I'm just so fucking tired of them.
I mean, I'm sure you're getting lots of protein. That's sort of my choice.
Is protein? I don't even think it's protein. I literally don't think it's anything. What?
Hold on. I'm about to Google this, but like, Lord help me.
Protein is in
I
like,
really hope
like little babies? Like, I don't understand. How is it protein?
I was literally about to put protein income in Google. Lord help me. In semen. Sorry. Let me use.
Oh my God. You're about to end up with like some.
Oh God, what have I done?
Oh my
gosh. The average protein concentration of semen is 5,040 milligrams per 100 milliliters. One ejaculation usually produces 5 milliliters of semen. We can say that the average amount of ejaculation contains around 252 milligrams of protein.
Is that a lot?
I mean, I think it's 1,000 milligrams make up a gram.
Matt, you're asking me to do fucking metrics now? Metric system? I don't know how to do that math.
Yeah, it's about 1 gram.
Okay,
I was like, yeah. So it's about
people,
1 gram of protein.
If you're looking for protein, literally get yourself some pea protein powder. You can get it on Amazon. Eat a fucking chicken breast. Do not go around eating people's cum.
But I don't think that the point I was trying to make is like, oh, I'm sure that there's some benefits, but the top of mind thing that comes is LOL comes to mind.
But wait, do the little thing. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the rights.
Oh, but I don't think we have the thing on here.
Oh, that's
do we?
sad. That's sad.
Oh, wait,
I don't know.
The drum joke. Hold on. We're about to do it. I love that we're always so delayed with these things. I'm sorry to our listeners. Okay. What comes to mind? Yes.
Done.
We did
Nailed it.
What comes to mind really is just the protein content of semen. I don't want to dismiss people's like alternative beliefs, if you will. I'm not here for that, but I will say it sounds very, very fucking far-fetched. I bet you every man that was sitting next to his wife watching this fucking show, being forced to watch this show with their significant other, probably
Unless
sat
it's Mark,
there.
because Mark put it on.
Sat there, was dumbfounded, turned to their significant other and was like, shall we get started? Are we trying to help your thyroid out? We trying to help with fertility? God. Like, how many men probably use that to their advantage this week? Just saying.
No, I don't. Anyway, yes, it's just so ridiculous. Also, another reason why I believe that this is fake, or she knows it's fucking stupid and that she's about to create a new trend, is because notice that she didn't name the doctor, but she names all of her other fucking doctors that she works with. It's all a publicity stunt. And I think that that's the thing, right? I feel like their entire life is just a fucking publicity stunt at this point. Yeah. And it's just like, I need you to stop. Like, I need you to stop being so inauthentic. Cause that's the thing I think people liked about Kourtney for so long. Like, you were authentic. You were the cool one. You were the one that stayed away from drama. You were the one that didn't sell your fucking soul to be, whatever, taking fake bites of Beyond Meat burgers. Like, I just feel like, that's it. They've all officially kind of crossed over and I'm just done. And seriously, people, like, you don't need to drink semen.
Well,
eat a chicken breast
actually
or tofu.
Going to
We're plant-based on this podcast.
Well, I would say I'm more of a flexitarian. I do primarily gravitate towards plant, but because of my anemia, I do, every once in a while I do like a steak. I will not lie. But I was going to add to your little note, since I'm supposed to be the brain, semen actually does have a whole bunch of essential nutrients, small amounts, trace amounts. But you've got calcium, citrate.
Oh my God, drink milk.
Lactic acid, magnesium, potassium, protein, zinc. So lots of things, it's kind of like a multi-supplement in one go.
Oh my gosh. No.
I'm sorry. I'm done. We're moving away from this topic.
We're moving on from this. Anyway, moral of the story is Kourtney sold her soul.
Yeah. Which is so sad to me because she really hated being center of attention and being on the show. And that's why it kind of ended with the E! Network. And for her all of a sudden to be, I don't know, center of attention and saying this shit, I just, whatever.
What?
I digress.
You do you, girl. All
Yeah.
right. I think it's time.
Okay.
What else do we have, girlfriend?
So next is man accused of attacking Dave Chappelle, charged with attempted murder for allegedly stabbing roommate.
Sorry. So can you tell us about this article? Because I didn't get a chance to read it. So was this like before or after?
So this was the guy who ran on stage with a knife and tried to attack Dave Chappelle.
Okay. Yes, but okay. Sorry.
Apparently,
getting ahead of myself.
Sorry, he didn't have enough. He basically was accused of tackling Dave Chappelle on stage, and he apparently has now been charged with attempted murder for allegedly stabbing his roommate. The LA County District Attorney had announced this, I think, last week. And apparently, he back in December stabbed his roommate, and essentially they said that because of this attack on Dave Chappelle, they were able to solve the case with the roommate. And I was like, interesting. So you guys didn't think that he was the primary suspect before, but whatever.
Did they give any more like information about that? Yeah. Like what did the Dave Chappelle show attack bring to light? Oh,
so basically
they looked into him.
Yeah. So based on the nature and severity of the December attack, he's now facing felony charges, according to LA County. And let's see here. What specifically? Stabbing his roommate. Okay, so Lee is charged with stabbing his roommate during a fight at a transitional housing apartment in December. As a result of media reports about the Chappelle case, the victim recently identified Lee as the person who committed the assault. He had previously reported to police.
Wait, okay. So, sorry, first of all, stupid question. Is the transitional house like a halfway house?
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy was an ex-convict.
Also, he was mentally ill, or Dave Chappelle assumed that he was mentally ill.
But isn't a halfway house like for people who are out of jail?
That's a really great question. I think transitional house. Why did I put houseway? It's basically it's for people with criminal backgrounds or drug abuse tendencies. And they're reintegrating. So he could have had, or also it's also another solution too for homelessness. I know like there are people who will go to some transition houses when they're in the middle of like a homeless family situation.
That's sad.
But like, I don't think it's primarily just for criminal or abuse backgrounds.
Okay.
So he apparently is not mentally well.
I mean, it's very, like, it's sad, right? Isn't the whole point of going to this house that you would be rehabilitated and, like, get better before you reintegrate in society?
Yes.
So,
but clearly,
whoever's running that thing needs to be fucking fired. Or that particular, like, location.
Clearly. I will also say the other interesting thing that came out of this article or this update is that Dave Chappelle apparently talked to this guy after the attack on stage. And that's where he essentially told people that he believes that the man was mentally ill and that he apparently, Lee, the name of the guy who attacked him, told him that the attack was meant to bring attention to the fact that Lee's grandmother had been forced out of her Brooklyn neighborhood by gentrification. Apparently, he also wrote a rap song 2 years ago about the comic that seemingly references the Hollywood Bowl. So he's kind of all over the place. Yeah, all I'm saying is like this guy had committed a crime, had actually hurt someone, stabbed them, and then went on stage and got past the security that was the same security for Astroworld, tackled Dave Chappelle, got his ass handed to him afterwards, and is now being criminally charged for assault.
I feel bad. Is that weird that I kind of have like I feel a little bad for this guy?
Yeah, I mean, we have a problem in our society, I think, with how we treat people with mental health issues, for sure. But I just find it insane, sort of the turn of events here. Like, this man had stabbed someone. Why hadn't he been caught since December?
And if they were roommates, how did he not know? Like, how did this guy not know who he was? I don't know.
It seems fishy,
Sounds a
right?
little suspect, yes.
Right?
Now that I'm thinking through this.
That's what I was thinking too. Also,
just poor man.
Also, like, the Popo didn't connect 2 and 2 together until this Hollywood Bowl situation. And this event happened in December.
Well, I mean,
the stabbing. Like, what?
LAPD isn't necessarily like known for it. Yeah. It's not exactly. It's not. It's no NYPD. No, I'm joking. But seriously, they're not necessarily like known for their
probably resourcing issues too.
We'll say. I mean, that's really sad, and I don't know. It sounds a little bit suspect to me.
Yeah.
Like this guy was like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Like I don't know. Like I would be interested to know, was there any evidence that actually pointed to the fact that this guy was in fact the one that stabbed someone? Or this other, I don't know. Also,
it was the roommate that
now?
Literally went and told police that's him.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how did you not know how to identify him previous to that? Why didn't you say it was my roommate, even if you didn't know the guy's name? Also,
or maybe
where's this guy living now?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I think probably after he stabbed him, he ran, and then police couldn't find him since he probably didn't have any address or family in the local area. Could be that. Fine. That's a possibility. And then it was after this incident where the roommate was like, oh shit, he's now being, charged and probably already in jail for this situation. They have him. I might as well go and say that, oh, it's him for his case. So it's a weird one, but I felt like we had to address it because it kind of comes full circle as to like why this guy kind of did what he did or what's going on, and kind of brings a little bit of background to it all. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. Are you ready for this?
I think so.
I don't know about you, but I know I was a massive Jersey Shore fan. Like, loved the shit out of that show. GTL felt life.
Faux life. I'm not going to lie. Paulie D at the time was literally my dream man. I loved the spike. Loved the spiky hair.
Yeah.
I loved his tan.
Please see it. Yeah.
I love the guy that wore sunglasses at night in a wife beater. Like, what am I going to do? Very, very, that was my type.
Yeah, that show was such a good, like, it was like the epitome of hot mess. Like, it was the perfect level of drunkenness, drama, relationship, like disasters. Like, oh, it was so perfect. Anyway, with that, apparently Jersey Shore apparently they're doing a reboot. MTV is going to be doing a reboot of the show.
Yes, I saw.
Jersey Shore original crew are not down for the reboot with a new cast. Mm-hmm. And they basically come out and said, we don't want them to essentially monetize on our past successes, something that we built, which I find kind of fascinating. And I kind of agree with them. Like, they are the original crew, but there's also a part of me too that's like, well, let's see, like with the modern day, like how far that train wreck could go. Like, I'd love to see it. I'm not going to lie.
So question, are they canceling like the Family Vacation series that they've been doing for the last however many years?
I don't think so. No, not from what I understood.
That. So Jersey Shore is still going to like the original cast is still going to have their moment, if you will, or they're still going to get a paycheck from MTV. I don't know. Like, I feel a little bit conflicted about this one because, as you know, I feel like I grew up with a lot of people that went to the Jersey Shore, and like, I could understand being like, no, you're a fucking fraud. Stop trying to, it's like appropriation in a sense, right? I know it's a little bit different, but like at a high level, bear with me here. I feel like I could understand how they feel like, people might be mocking their culture or whatever it is. So I don't know.
I kind of agree with you. I think there's a level here where, and they said it themselves, where, they are not a big fan of the fact that, they spent so many years doing this show where they had very vulnerable moments and opened themselves up to embarrassment and ridicule and the public eye. And essentially now people are going to exploit that, basically the audience and the authenticity and the hard work that they laid the groundwork for.
I mean, let's not call it hard work. They got drunk on a fucking beach and got arrested. Like, let's
exactly.
Come
hard
on, guys.
Work for me to be fucking entertained. Thank
exactly.
You.
But like, I can get behind you saying like you don't want people necessarily riding your coattails, if you will. But I can't necessarily get behind you calling that hard work. Yeah. And I'm not saying that it wasn't difficult or whatever to watch yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not. That's all I'm saying.
It's, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I feel for them. Like, I get it to a degree, but they don't really have the rights to the show, as shitty as it sounds.
No. I know for they're old. Like, I don't really need to see them like get drunk anymore and play pranks on each other. Like, sorry, you guys are a little old. You'll have children now. Like, it's not that fun.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I haven't watched the Family Vacation reboot at all.
No, it's not good.
I think they're on
old.
Their 5th season, aren't they?
Yeah, I haven't watched all of them, but my mother-in-law, shout out to you, Ro, she loves Jersey Shore, and so she watches it all the time. Nice. And so I see it sometimes when I'm there. And no, it's just like literally, like, guys, like I need you to tone it down a little bit. Could
you imagine though a reboot? Because I think about it, they're going to name it Jersey Shore 2.0. So my question is, yeah, that's literally the title of what they're working with.
God, we need to get a little more creative with that, my friends.
So my whole thing is, I feel like I would enjoy it because it would be like more in the modern world. Are they going to use millennials or are they going to use Gen Z? Because if it's Gen Z, I'm not fucking watching it.
I was just going to say, like, I just don't think that necessarily like Gen Z are into that. Like, that's just not their behaviors. Like, Gen Z are just so different than millennials.
But isn't Jersey Shore like a very particular culture though? Like I wonder, has the culture changed as the generations have changed? Because like regional cultures like still get ingrained.
Yeah, but I definitely think like half the things that made it funny, like, I don't know, do people still go to tanning salons? Maybe. Like tanning salons. Do people, I think it was just like, no, you know what? Now I'm thinking about this out loud. I am very against this because I just don't think that it will hit the same. Like, I don't need to see a bunch of like guys that look like TikTokers with like weird curly hair and like God, wearing, like gender fluid attire at the Jersey Shore pretending to yell GTL. No, like, I just don't want to see that. I don't think it's going to have the same impact.
It won't be fucking GTL anymore. Like, what would be their thing?
Okay, we're done.
Hold on.
We've decided.
Gym, TikTok, laundry, because like laundry would still be the thing. So instead of tan, TikTok, so it would still be GTL, but like gym, TikTok, laundry.
You think that Gen Z goes to the fucking gym? No, they all just go and get BBLs now. No, I think it's probably gonna. No,
or
it's gonna
they
be
go
like
to Soul
gym.
Cycle.
It's gonna be. No, nobody goes to Soul Cycle anymore. No. Hey. Don't you come for Pilates. That's my thing. No, but it's going to be like a gym, like, or gentrification.
Oh, God.
TikTok and laundry. Oh, God. No, I'm joking. But
now I'm trying to wonder, like, what would be an alternative for the G?
Gin. I feel like isn't like, what I just feel like it's very like hipster, like everyone drinks Negronis now, myself included. I don't know. Anyway, I've decided it's not going to be the same. We're not going to have another bromance like Pauly D and Vinny. You can't recreate Snooki. That she just doesn't exist in this world anymore. She doesn't look like a meatball anymore.
I know.
I'm done. We're done. I don't want any part of it.
No, fair. I mean, if and when it comes out, I will watch the pilot just because I want to see what they're doing with it. Just because I want to see if it's our generation, right? Like millennials, like younger millennials. Okay, cool. I'll check it out because I feel like I'd have more to relate to. But if it's going to be Gen Z, like I'm literally going to be sitting there like, what the fuck is this? This has nothing to do with the actual Jersey Shore.
Exactly. It's like not nostalgic anymore.
Yeah, you're right. No. Okay, I'm with you on it. I will give it benefit of the doubt just for the pilot, though. But other than that,
why are you
nothing
always
else.
So positive?
Because if I'm not, what is there to live for?
Oh my God, no. Well, we'll see. But I'm done. I'm not watching it. It gets a 0 in my book. We're done.
I mean, Alina, at this point, what are we going to fucking watch? Like Kardashians, clearly we're over
them. We're done with them.
Jersey Shore, Bling Empire. I literally was so over the second season. You were right. Like, I was like, what is this? Like, what are they trying to do here?
Like produced, but like produced in a like, they make them all look like such new money. And very
keep talking about it. Like
that's all they talk about. It's like, it's not like a $500 pen that you're writing with. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't give a shit about the pen. And just the way it ended so abruptly, like there was no,
that didn't make any sense to me either. I was like, it literally ended the way that it ended, and I sat there, and then all of a sudden, like a trailer for a new show on Netflix, and Pierre and I were like, wait, did it just end on that note?
It's horrible.
Just like could not believe it. So like, what is there now that we can actually watch that's good reality TV? I feel like it doesn't exist anymore. Guys, y'all are failing us.
Beverly Hills, it's back. I need to start watching it.
I've started, actually.
I haven't started. Don't tell me. I'm
not telling you anything.
I'm obsessed.
You gotta
I heard Rena's amazing. But no, I promise you I will catch up at some point this century. I've just, me, girl, I'm selling houses.
That's right.
Recording podcasts.
Making that money, girl. Making that money.
I'm a dog mom, trying to do these things, I know.
I know.
But all right. Well, if anybody has any recommendations for what the hell we should be watching, please send it our way, because we're grasping at straws, and it's a struggle out here.
Literally, we're in a drought. I'm so thirsty. Thirsty for some good content.
Oh my God. Some good content or some semen. Go ask Kourtney Kardashian when she recommends.
Literally gagging over here.
Well, on that note, now that
note, everyone.
Now that we're gagging, we're gonna go. Quench our thirst with some wine. It's been real, friends. And seriously, if you have any content or anything that we should be watching on Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Peacock, Showtime, Bravo, we've got them all.
Jesus Christ!
Please send it our way. Oh, HBO is a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well,
with that, we'll see y'all on Wednesday.
Bid you adieu. Ciao.